Everyone, I'm really excited to introduce you to my sister Chailey, and we're going to discuss the topic of self-love, which I believe to be really the catalyst of so many things that people struggle with. So I'm really excited to bring her on, and I think you'll really enjoy this video.
Hi everyone, my name is Chailey, and this is my story. Life as a young child, I remember struggling to fit in. I remember conforming in any way possible. I was a chameleon, and I would adjust to fit whichever crowd I felt was the it crowd. The media, television, magazines, ads, made it very known that it was important to be externally beautiful. It's what they told us happiness is. I remember shopping for new clothes and purses with my mother. My mother shopped for herself, but she also shopped for me. She made sure I always had the newest, trendy clothing item, and I believe this was part of her quest to ensure that I would fit in and be accepted. She wanted what she felt would be best for me. To her, this was fitting in with the crowd and being beautiful by societal norms. This belief of true happiness was not an internal journey, and it focused primarily on what people see on the outside. It is what our world and our culture taught her, and she unintentionally taught me this same concept. I know she never intended to hurt me. I struggled with my weight as a child. I now know that I inherited that from my father. My father was a chubby kid who shed his weight suddenly at the age of 13. I had the same story. As a little girl, I had no idea that I was normal, that I was simply going through growing pains, and that my body would eventually even out and catch up with itself. I compared myself to the other little girls. I wondered why my shape and size was so different from theirs. The media fed mine and my family's insecurities. This resulted in me going to countless doctor's appointments to get my blood levels checked to make sure there wasn't something wrong with me to explain my weight gain. We kept healthy food in the house, and I restricted myself from eating anything that might increase the size of my waist. I remember sneaking ice cream and sweet treats, only to later shame myself. I have countless journal entries from the age of 8 describing how fat I was and how I wished I was skinny like all of the other little girls. In these journal entries, I expressed the worry that people wouldn't like me. I wasn't carefree. It was almost as if I were born into worry, fed by a constant shaming of the person I was. I challenged myself to run on my mother's elliptical machine instead of playing outside with my friends. I packed my lunch with the popular weight loss method, Slim Fast. By the age of 12, I was getting my hair done and my eyebrows waxed. By 14, I was in a tanning booth. I bonded with people through gossip. We bonded through picking ourselves and others apart. An ex-boyfriend recommended breast implants for me when I was 19 years old after bringing to my attention that my breasts were small and not normal in size. At this time, I didn't even know what normal was, but it certainly wasn't me. I sit here writing this with tears in my eyes because after all of these years, my wounds are still fresh. To this day, I still struggle with the concept of self-love. Through trial and tribulation, positive relationships, faith, and growing up, I now believe that self-love is an inside job and that in order to love myself, I must practice engaging in loving myself. This means engaging in the things I would do for others I love, like buying myself flowers. It means feeding my body the nutrients that makes it feel good. It encompasses increasing my happy brain chemicals with regular exercise. It is recognizing the beauty within myself by realizing the perfections I already possess while remaining humble and forgiving of myself when I fall short. It's constantly striving to be internally better rather than focusing on what my outside looks like. It's making a decision each moment of the day to feed my ego or feed my soul. It's recognizing how I feed my ego. It's recognizing how I feed my soul. It's remembering to be grateful in the moments when life is harsh. It's practicing the golden rule. It's getting out into nature and feeling my connectedness to the universe. To feel good, I must act good, and I can define what good is to me. Good is going out of my way to be kind to the customer service representative who has an attitude because I understand that she might be going through a rough time. Good is connecting to another human being every day. Good is smiling when I pass others on the street instead of avoiding eye contact. Good is attempting to tap into another person's feelings and emotions with a motive of empathy and understanding. Good is admitting when I am wrong and doing my best to make it right. Good is understanding that I am human and so are others. Good is instilling loving action into this world every day with kind gestures. Good is acknowledging the love I have for others when I feel it. Good is standing up for myself and others as I strive to follow through in my morals and values.
I hope you enjoyed that video, and I know a lot of you can relate to some of the things that Chailey spoke about, and I'm sure all of you can at least relate to one thing. And so with that being said, we decided to do what we did last year, a very similar 7-day challenge, which we're so excited about that we will have opening here in just a little bit. All you have to do is scroll below on this video and basically access the group there. You just click the button, it'll take you to the Facebook group, and we will get started very shortly. We're really excited to do this with you. We realize, especially with what I've done in the fitness space for so long, that the physical goal that you have, the external goal that you have, you'll really never get it unless we can go through the mental things, the mental roadblocks, and all the limited beliefs that you have right now. So I'm really excited to get started with you. Again, just scroll down, click the link, and we'll get started.
So the way that I was able to get to a point where I do love myself and I'm able to kind of work on myself internally, where the consequences kind of shine through externally, started, about 6.5 years ago with women. I found an incredible group of supportive women that lifted me up when I was at my absolute lowest point, and they took me in and loved me when I couldn't love myself. And as a result, I was able to kind of start to heal and meet an amazing man who ended up being my husband, who now lifts me up, the same way those women did who are still in my life today. I think it's so important to have your tribe. So between that, my husband, and my family, not only do I have this gracious group of in-laws who are incredibly supportive, spiritual, all about the internal journey, my family is absolutely incredible. And they went through more than anybody in my life did. They saw me broken, they saw me suicidal at a lot of different points in my life. And they loved me through it, and they did a lot of things that, out of tough love, that were incredibly hard, but it brought me to the point that I'm at today. And I can honestly say today, my family, my brothers are my best friends, and that's such an incredible feeling to have. And the other thing that I think is different today is, 2-3 years ago, I remember looking at women in a gym that may have looked beautiful, and I would think to myself, they're beautiful, that means I'm not, that means I need to be something different. And today, what's so awesome, I can walk into this gym where there's girls working their butts off to get to certain points, and I'll look over to my brother and I'll be like, that girl has such a good butt, like she looks like she works really hard, like good for her. And that is huge progress for me. And I think how we get there is kind of encompassing a lot of different things that I kind of touched on a little bit. I think we can really go deeper and start with this 7-day challenge and kind of start to bring some of those things into our life and learn how to love ourselves on this journey. It never ends, but it's always such a beautiful journey if you choose to look at it that way.